Hey everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns with another tabletop video review. Today we're taking a look at the Umarex P2P HDP 50 compact CO2 rubber and powder ball less lethal pistol. And I say rubber and powder ball because it does come with 10 rounds of each in the box. So you've got yours. Is this even upright the right way? I don't know. Here we go. So we have our powder rounds here. Okay, so they're just like a, like a powder, or white powder, so that when they hit something, you can see that it's hit it. There are pepper balls as well that you can buy. Just it's not something that we can easily get in Canada, but in some places you can get pepper balls. So those will just, instead of powder, it's like a pepper powder type thing, and it's going to be like a tear gas type idea, or like a bear spray, not really spray, but something that's going to irritate the person and maybe irritate their eyes and their nose and stuff, and hopefully slow them down. So here's the rubber balls, 10 of them. Comes with these. I might as well just go over what comes within the box right now, since we're already doing it. You do get a little manual. I'm not going to really open it up, but it's going to obviously have some specifications, a UPC code, probably with more detailed instructions, so you can scan that. You have this little guy here for cleaning out the barrel if something were to get stuck in there, help clean it out. And we have these 8-gram CO2 cartridges. Okay, so they're a little different than the 12 grams. You can see here, shorter and smaller. Not as easy to get, but you can get them for sure. Probably a little more expensive for the size, right? You're obviously going to get more shots with a 12 gram over an 8 gram. But this is the compact version of the pistol. We'll show you the regular version too. But the compact version is definitely smaller, and so it's shorter in this area here, which can make a difference for if you wanted to conceal carry it or keep it in a more compact area. Having the different length, especially this part, is going to make a big difference. So that's kind of what it comes with. It does come in a box. We'll get that out of the way too. Okay, so you can see here, patented quick pierce system, velocity 360 FPS. CO2 is 8 grams, 4-round capacity. So a little different than the full-size version, which is 6. A little slower FPS, a little less joules as well. I believe this is like in the sort of high to mid 300s. The other one's in the high to mid 400s. And it's going to have more joules. This, I believe, is going to be about 11. The HDP 50 non-compact version ended up getting close to 15 joules with the rubber balls, even though it's claimed to say 13. So we'll see what happens with this one. Yeah, so, you've got, tells you what it comes with in the box. 10 and 10 of the rounds, 3 of the CO2s, and the cleaning squeegee, that's what they call it. Okay, so it's a decent box. It's kind of like a box slash clamshell. So it's a box with a clamshell inside, but it's better than a clamshell for sure. All right, again, this is for less lethal. I don't want to say self-defense. Will it actually stop an intruder, over, I don't know, a baseball bat? Probably a baseball bat is going to hurt a lot more. And if you hit someone with it, they're probably going to, think twice a little quicker than something like this. But you got to get a lot closer to somebody with a baseball bat. This, hopefully you can, my idea of the perfect use is someone's trying to do something to you. You might fire a few of these rounds at them, slow them down, make them think a little bit, at least stop, hopefully, for a second. Well, you can maybe get away or, retreat or figure out something else to do besides shoot more of these rubber balls at them, especially if they're not retreating. But it could be useful, and there is a fair bit of energy. So like I have reviewed the HDP 50. This is the non-compact version. We'll just show you these two right now too before I get into specifications. You can see kind of bigger and smaller at the same size, right? A little blockier in here than the HDP 50 non-compact. And the actual sort of the pistol grip length is a lot shorter on this. I did find that, if you were to try to conceal carry this one, like put it in some sort of a thing and then put it in your pants, this wants to just stick out of your shirt area, right? Because it's so long. So a little harder to conceal carry with something like this. Now it's stuck. It is definitely longer in length as well, right? So you can see that, quite a bit longer. In terms of thickness, if anything, the compact might be slightly wider, just a little thicker, right? Slightly, not a big deal. Definitely different sighting systems and everything. You have fiber optic on the full-size version. On the compact, you just sort of have a notch and a post on the front, and it sort of goes down this groove, which could maybe help with lighting situations and glare. They both have this little indicator that pops out that'll come out here when you give them the whack to puncture that CO2. They both have clear indicators. Okay, loading system is going to be different on the full-size version. Okay, you have a loading area underneath here. With the compact version, you need to open it up, and it's kind of the same, but you load it underneath here, right? Underneath here, and then you put this down, right, back in there, and you're ready to go. So it's kind of work the same, but this is like a more rounded, more modern design, futuristic almost like a laser gun, but it definitely has a lot more rounded edges. So if you were, concealed carrying this, it's not going to get caught too easily on your clothing. That's kind of nice for that purpose, right? Okay, let's go over some of the specifications. I haven't done a field test shooting video for this one. I have done for the full-size version or the full non-compact version. Again, this is a little more powerful, has a higher claimed FPS and joules. So we'll see what the compact does. I'm going to expect it to get around 10 to 11 joules, maybe more if it is claimed to have 11 joules. So let's hope we get that and shoot somewhere in the the high 300 FPS, maybe close to 400. That would be nice, but we'll do that field test in a little bit here, and we'll see what it does. Let's get right into the specifications. All right, this is the P2P Prepared to Protect. That's what that stands for. It is manufactured and distributed by Umarex, possibly T4E. I don't see any T4E branding on the box. Could just be an Umarex product, but T4E is a company that does make a lot of paintball guns for Umarex. This is not a paintball gun. It's, as you can see, do not use for paintball. But the other guns can use rubber balls, and they can use powder balls and pepper balls. So there's a crossover here. So essentially, it's a paintball pistol design that's made for less lethal encounters. It does shoot .50 caliber rounds, designed to shoot rubber, powder, pepper, if you can get them, and even metal rounds. So you can get aluminum or steel rounds. And I've actually done some testing with the full-size version with metal rounds, with rubber metal rounds, with full steel rounds, and other things to try and see what we get in terms of, do you get more power? How fast do they go? Are they effective if you get too heavy, right? So you can check those videos out. Again, it does use the 8-gram CO2 cartridges, not the 12-gram, and it does have that quick pressurization system, so you can leave the CO2 in and just give it a little smack on the bottom when you're ready to shoot it or you need it. It also has that CO2 activation indicator on the back here that will stick out when it's ready to go. It's active when that CO2 is pierced. It is mostly plastic construction with some metal parts, so you're going to have some metal in here. You can kind of see it in the barrel area. Obviously, the barrel is going to be metal. There's going to be some metal like in this part, and internally where it screws into, that whole CO2 housing has to hold the pressure, so that's going to be metal. The trigger is actually metal on this gun too, with a trigger safety. So there's definitely some metal there where you need it. I would say you don't need anything else to really be metal in a gun like this, and having it be plastic just makes it a little lighter, and being a compact design, you want it to be light. It does have a double action trigger, and my experience with the full-size HDP 50 is the trigger's pretty reasonable. It's not too long, it's not too heavy, but it's also not too light, which you don't want it to be in this case. It does come in at 1.3 pounds or 585 grams and has a total length of 7.2 inches or 183 millimeters. The barrel length is about 4 inches or 108 millimeters. That's the inner barrel, by the way, and it does have a 4-round internal magazine. The FPS claimed by Umarex is 365 with an 11 joule rating for energy. Again, it has that trigger safety. That's the only safety I've been able to find on it. And it does have non-adjustable sights front and back, which are post and notch that sort of sit in that trough area, which could help with some lighting reflections. It does come with the orange slide to show it is a less lethal firearm. And it comes in a cardboard/plastic box with the cleaning tool, the manual, 10 rubber balls, and 10 powder balls. And it does include the 3 8-gram CO2 to get you started. By the way, this product is made in Taiwan. All right, I already showed you the HDP 50 standard version, non-compact version, so we're not going to do the comparison. It's already done. We will do a little walk around here, show you this product up a little closer, get in there, because you guys do like to see, the quality, right? And this is a good camera, I think, so it does capture that quality pretty well. You can see if there's imperfections and things. This does feel really good. It's got a very smooth finish to it. Like it just feels really good. Like it's not too slippery or anything, but you might want I would say maybe a little more texture here might be a good idea, but it's enough. I would say if you get this wet, you've got just enough texture so it's not going to be too slippy. And I think the whole idea here is to not get it caught on your clothes. So if you have too many edges and too much texture, rough texture, it's going to bind and grab on clothing. And the whole idea with this product is to keep it possibly concealed, right? Especially if you're in an area that you can carry it. Maybe not so much here in Canada. You have to decide how to understand the Canadian laws when it comes to what a weapon is, what a weapon isn't, what you're allowed to do for protection, right? It can be very complicated here in Canada. All right, so there's the Prepare to Protect HDP 50C for compact. There is that trigger safety. Okay, so it's not going to work at all, right? See how you can't pull it, and then you can pull it. Okay, it won't work period until that's pierced, by the way. So the trigger does nothing, doesn't engage. As soon as the CO2 is pierced, this will pop out and the trigger will work until there's not enough pressure. So you can see here, 50 caliber barrel opening. That front sight is just black. The rear sight is just same color as the slide. Okay, you do have this little warning thing. Do not use paintballs. Paintballs may damage the product and will void the warranty. So if you get this, if they get this gun back for repair and it's covered in paintball slime, then they might not fix it for you, or at least under warranty. Okay, there's the caliber, the name, warning instructions. Okay, again, this doesn't really click in here. It's kind of weird, right? But when you're holding it, your finger's going to be up against that and pushing it in. I don't know if when the CO2 is pierced, if that changes, because I don't have a CO2 in it. But it would be nice if that clicked in there a little bit. It doesn't. So that's just a little peeve. So you take this out, put your CO2 in. And by the way, you would put it in so it's facing top up, right? Because the piercing element is right there at the top here. So you put it in backwards. Most CO2 air guns you put the other way, the CO2 in the other way. And then you would obviously put this back in once the CO2 is in. Tighten it up like snug, but not hard. If you tighten it up too much, you're going to have trouble getting it out. So just until it stops. You don't need to actually tighten this. Just until it stops. And then when you're ready to shoot it, you do that. It pierces it. It's ready to go. That pops out. And you're ready to go. All right, so again, pretty small gun, not too bad for size, a little chunky thickness wise, but it's pretty good. I haven't tried concealed carrying it or anything, but I imagine it would definitely be easier to conceal carry than the full size version. All right, let's talk about the pros and the cons, and then we'll finish up this review. Now, there's not many options for a true less lethal pistol here in Canada, other than, what I've been showing you. Some of the T4E products that are more paintball oriented, they're generally going to be less powerful than these guys. These P2Ps have the most power and basically velocity and energy coming out of them at the end of the day. So for less lethal, I would say these are the best choices. And I did review the P2P HDP 50 full-size version, so check that one out. That one's going to have even more power than this one. It is nice that these are purpose-built for the less lethal market. I also like that it's clearly marked in orange to indicate it's not an actual lethal firearm. When protecting yourself here in Canada, you have to be cautious with your intentions, and having clear orange markings will help in your case to show that you were not trying to give the impression of using a real firearm. So if something were to come, a court case were to come out of it, you might be able to argue that you can say, hey, I wasn't really trying to hurt anybody seriously. I was just trying to deter them. So firing this to try to get rid of these intruders, I felt was perfectly reasonable in the situation. All right, moving on. It does have a pretty decent power claim of 365 with 11 joule energy rating. So that's fairly good. 11 joules isn't anything to laugh at. It's a lot more than an air gun, a BB gun, or an airsoft gun, or even a traditional paintball gun is going to have less energy typically. And you can store the 8 gram CO2 in it and activate it with the quick hit under the bottom there, the CO2 screw. You just give it a good smack. That activates it and it's ready to shoot. It does hold 4 rounds in the internal magazine, which hopefully gets the job done. Now you should be able to pop this down and load a couple more or 4 more in pretty quickly, but obviously it depends on the situation. If time is of the essence, it's going to probably take too long to get another 4 rounds in. There isn't really a speed loading magazine type situation here. You got to hand bomb them in there. Now Umarex does claim 8 shots per 8 gram CO2, so you could load this a second time, shoot it, and you should be able to get through all 8 rounds without it lacking CO2 pressure. It does have pretty basic post-notch sights with that trough that it sits in, so it should be pretty easy to line stuff up. Being that it has the black up front, orange in the back, should be easy to see on most target backgrounds. And that double action trigger, at least what I've experienced with the HDP 50, this full-size version, it's pretty smooth, it's not too heavy, and it does have that trigger safety on it as a little bit of a protection against accidentally firing it. It does come with 10 rubber and 10 powder balls along with 3 8-gram CO2 cartridges to get you started. If you plan on shooting it a bit to try it out, you're probably going to need some more ammunition pretty quickly, but you can reuse those rubber balls, so just make sure you have some sort of blanket or something behind you, the target that you're shooting at, to catch those balls so that you can reuse them. And it's nice that it has the compact size. It lets you potentially conceal carry it, law permitting, over the full-size version, which I think is a little bit large for that purpose. All right, some cons. It does use 8-gram CO2, which are harder to get and more expensive than 12-gram CO2. And they also get less shots per CO2 and they cool down a little quicker. So what happens when a CO2 cools down, if it doesn't have as much CO2 in it, it cools down faster. And as CO2 cools down, it becomes less efficient. So that means your velocity and energy will lower as well. Now there's no Picatinny rail or adjustable sights on here, so you can't add anything to it, although it is a concealed carry gun. I wouldn't want to add a bunch of stuff to it, otherwise it's not going to be that concealable anymore. So I think we're okay here with the sights the way they are. The idea here is something's going to be pretty close to you. You're going to pull this out, you're going to shoot it, and hopefully that gives you time to get away. And the last kind of con is we can't get pepper balls here in Canada. You have to rely on the energy of the rubber balls or the powder balls to do some sort of damage or slow the person down. I think pepper balls, if you could get them here in Canada, would be more effective. You know, they'd add another level of discomfort that the rubber balls don't add. All right, that's pretty much it. If you're interested in this product or some sort of paintball gun or less lethal pistol, then check out our replicaAirguns.ca and replicaAirguns.us websites. I'll put links in the description to buy these products. Over time here, we are getting more and more of them, which is nice. So check those links out. You can also get air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories in both of those Canada and US stores. Again, over at replicaAirguns.ca for Canada and replicaAirguns.us for the US. I'll also be writing a written post with some additional photos over on our Replica Airguns blog, so make sure to check out, again, the link in the description to that post over at replicaAirguns.com. All right, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, take care.